Hey, what is up guys? Jonathan Golden, and we are here, day 2 of the boot camp. Welcome aboard. You guys made it past day 1, congrats. And day 2, we're gonna be going over on-site photos. So we're gonna go over photos and drone photos. So this is strictly, just those two features of this, demonstration today. So hope you guys enjoy. We're on our way there now. Definitely things to talk about: transportation. You do not want a Ford Raptor for your transportation. It is the worst gas mileage vehicle. So if you're in this business a lot, my number one tip is to get a gas efficient vehicle. So I think, Toyota Prius, Chevy Volt I started with. Drove that thing up to 200,000 miles. I have a Tesla Model Y for my daily. Have about 140,000 miles on that. So definitely a Model 3 or anything with 50 or more gas mileage. There's a lot of hybrids out there now, but that's what I've driven in the past and I recommend, because this will burn some gas and get you in trouble. But yeah, we're on our way there now. So I'm gonna give, speak of the devil, it's a cop right there. Boop. Oh boy. Now we're good guys. All right, so going there now. So I'll wait for the next video to film you an update on site. We're gonna walk in, turn on the lights. So I have like my little GoPro or Osmo action here that I'm gonna be filming POV style, so you guys can get a real good explanation and good tutorial on how to take the photos. So see you guys there. All right, we're here. There she is, right there. Let's get our tripod. All right guys, we made it here. Oh, there goes the key. We got the key, found it, a little treasure hunt. But yeah, now we're inside. And make sure this is recording. My POV here. There we go, we got that, that looks good. Okay, so yeah, step 1, take a look inside, make sure everything is good to go. Also, turn on all the lights. If you want a more moody style edit, you want to shut the lights off. Hopefully there's a lot of natural light for that. This one, we're doing the lights on, but even though you could do with the lights off, looks pretty nice. Natural and neutral colors, right? If you had something without, white walls, it'd be kind of hard to do no lights on, but for this tutorial, we're gonna do the lights on. Here we go. So yeah, just go around kitchen, get everything set up so you don't have to shoot room by room. You can just blow through this place, pretty quickly. So yeah, we're gonna look around, turn on the lights, looks good. Sometimes I remove that pool pump thing here, but we're gonna end up photoshopping it. Photoshop that out. Everything looks good on the outside. The screen, I'm gonna keep that over. Lights on. All right, looks good. Let's shoot it. My POV here. There we go. So we got that. That looks good. Okay. So yeah, step 1, take a look inside. Make sure everything is good to go. Also, turn on all the lights. If you want a more moody style edit, you want to shut the lights off. Hopefully there's a lot of natural light for that. This one, we're doing the lights on, but even though you could do with the lights off. Looks pretty nice, natural and neutral colors, right? If you had something without, you know, white walls, it could be kind of hard to do no lights on, but for this tutorial, we're gonna do the lights on. Here we go. So yeah, just go around kitchen, get everything set up so you don't have to shoot room by room. You can just blow through this place, you know, pretty quickly. So yeah, we're gonna look around, turn on the lights, looks good. Sometimes I remove that pool pump thing here, but we're gonna end up photoshopping it. Photoshop that out. Everything looks good on the outside. The screen, I'm gonna keep that over. Lights on. All right, looks good. Let's shoot it. All right, so step one, we are on here. It's POV style, so we're gonna go with f8 settings, ISO 300 or yeah 320. 2-second timer on this, so you want to have that set up in the Q mode. Press 2-second timer. This is how the screen looks. There's a lot going on, but this is the way I like to do it. You can see how many shots you have, battery life, brackets, everything. F8 320. You could drop it down to, you know, like 100 to 200, but it just takes the camera longer, and in the program there's noise reduction, so I think 320 is a good point, especially for the tripod. Sometimes, you know, you could jiggle the tripod and kind of come out weird or blurry, so I think those settings are good, right? We're gonna go with these settings here. We're gonna go -3, 2, and 0. Just under. Some people they do -2 plus 2. Some other people go 1 shot by 1 shot. God bless you. That is not happening here because that takes way too long. So here we go. So I'm gonna set up here. I'm using the Canon R5C, and we have the Canon 15 to 35 lens. This is a great all-around lens, not too wide, not too narrow, and you have some flexibility, so you don't have to swap lenses, right? So you go for the 12 and then go back for the details. You can kind of hit all the houses with the 15 to 35. Also another good lens is the 12 to 24. But yeah, like these tight bathrooms here, a 12 would be nice, because to get the floor and the light fixtures and stuff. Looks like the light fixture. Oh, there it is. Boom. See, yeah, right here. To get all that, you're not gonna get that with the 15, but yeah. So that's why I recommend the 12. You could also get the Laowa 12 if you're gonna use. Sometimes I do that where shoot the whole house and then the Laowa 12 will slap on, get the bathrooms. Depending on how picky the client is. The client's super picky, and it's like, if you know your client, then of course. I see a problem here though. The lights aren't on, so the lights are on. Everything will be color balanced later. So let's just start shooting. So yeah, I would just shoot like a straight on here, maybe like as the entrance shot. You got this tree here. It's not really the best, so maybe I would, you know, crop in a little bit and then bam. Yeah, boom, got it there, right? So that looks good. So you have that one. Here's the shutters, different exposures. Yeah, so we're shooting multi here, and you kind of want to review the shots as you take them too. Sometimes, like if it's too bright or too dark, you won't be able to see the next room down the line, or maybe the windows are too bright. So you definitely want to kind of review and check in different rooms. Maybe one room you could kind of go +1 or -1. Typically on the twilights we'll do a -1 or -2. But yeah, for here that's kind of how I'll do it. So I'm gonna shoot like pretty much 1 shot per corner or per angle. So yeah, I'm gonna go here, make sure I'm still recording. Yep, 5 minutes in. So I'm gonna go there. You can kind of like, if you see the height of the tripod, it's kind of like in the middle of the room to the ceiling. So keep that in mind. You know, the ceilings is very important. You don't want too much ceiling or else it looks dumb. See if you raise it up here. I don't know if you could see that. Maybe I'll just change my view. There. So yeah, if you see that, it's not gonna look great. It's gonna be a lot of ceiling here. So I find that this is the best. So this would be a good shot, but you got too much pillow there. So I would scoot in a little. And keep in mind, don't cut off any lights on the ceiling. There's a, you know, fluorescent light there, or LED. You know, I would go maybe middle of this coffee table, right? We're just gonna hit that, boom. Sometimes you don't want to overthink it. And this is a good shot, I see right away, straight on. We're gonna shoot straight on here, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna go rapid speed so you guys can kind of get the idea. Angle here looks good, right? You can show the stairs, and then also. So let's review that, because the stairs look a little dark, but you can see in the exposures that it's pretty bright. It'll be good. Okay, so now here we got this corner. Bam, bam, bam. You want to be verticals is also a good example here. I like this 3 display grid, so you can set that up in the camera settings. Every camera is different, so you'd have to go into your grid lines and make sure that you're in the thirds. There's also a different grid line for the video, which has like, you know, lines going across diagonal, but I think this is good for the verticals. You want to line up the walls, make sure that they're straight, and then also the level. I'm just showing you a full screen because I like to use this display to make sure everything is level. And so yeah, you can adjust the verticals there, make sure the lines on the side are straight, everything is straight. Real estate, you don't want to really go down or up. It's gonna just look weird. Some people, I've seen them like where they you know, they go kind of pointed down, but that's a mistake. So stick with me. Be alright? Boom, done. Alright, so we got this corner over here. Sometimes it's tricky, you know, you want to show this room to the other room. So I think here would be good. Oh, also, you don't want to park in the window. That's a mistake. That's a red flag. That's a no-no. But we can Photoshop that out later. If you don't want to create more work for yourself, don't park there. But anyways, here we go here. It's a good shot. Kind of show the sliding glass door, right? And then I would like to get one here. There's a plant behind me. Just gonna have to get up in there. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And not all layouts are the same, so obviously the houses, they're gonna be different shots, but over here I'd raise it up a little bit just because the countertops to see over to the next room. I'm kind of breaking the rule here. There's a lot of different options here you could choose. You could choose, you know, to be straight on with that point or straight on with the corner over there. So it kind of depends on your judgment and what you think looks best, but I think, you know, for this purpose, I'm gonna go with the middle. My aiming point is that corner of that wall or that corner. So that's gonna be in the middle of my camera here in the thirds view. Raise it up a little bit so don't cut off that light. Boom. Yeah, it looks good. And then we'll go here, we'll go straight on. This one's kind of tricky because it's not really centered. So you're gonna have to take a judgment call here and see what's centered. Maybe take 2 double shots. You got one You could do one shot here, I think would look best. And then you could also shoot straight on. I like the straight ons. You can shoot here, straight on. And a lot of people get this one wrong, so you want to make sure that the ceiling and the cabinets are all lined up, because if they're not lined up, it's going to look crooked and it's going to look awful. It's going to look newbie. So this one is kind of tricky too. You could go straight on there, but for the purpose, I'm going to go another straight on with the sink. It's always a good shot. You can go a little tighter too if you want, but this house is kind of like entry level, so I think going with the minimal shots is fine. If you get to the nicer homes, you could do like detail shots. Client requests it. So this one is tricky. Change it up. This is a laundry room. I mean, you get what you get here. There's not much room. A 12 millimeter would be nice, but you kind of just have to get the room, show it. Not really great. Here too is tricky. You want to be making sure that you see over the countertop a little bit and not underneath here, because sometimes there's like exposed wood. It doesn't look good. Or under here, you don't want to be able to see underneath, because sometimes there's lighting or cables or wood. It doesn't look great. So that's and then also setting up here so you can see this room and that doorway. Comment down below if this is a good demonstration or is it trash. Let me know. But I hope you guys are getting something from this and learning and earning. Here we go. Here, boom, boom, boom. The window is kind of dirty. Nothing we could do about that. Maybe two different shots, right? One with that window and then one without, because that looks terrible. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay, cool. So yeah, we have all that, and then I think let's go upstairs. And each house should take you about an hour or two, depending on how big it is, or if you're with somebody. All right, going up. Just gonna check the audio, take a break. All right, we're back on the upper level here. So continuing, I wanna go over the settings again as well. I skipped one step, auto white balance, that's important. Sometimes if you get a weird white balance, you could go ahead and manually do it. Auto is pretty good for running and gunning. So there you go, auto white balance. Answers some questions there. So we got the lighting here. Sometimes I like to keep the door open just because there's like a reflection. And yeah. So yeah, you can hit this one two different ways. We can go one here, one opening shot. You can kind of see that I'm angling towards the middle of the room. Bang, bang, bang. And then we got here, maybe we'll do, this level so we can get the light in the tub and everything. This looks good. Boom, boom, boom. And I'll put the pictures as I take them on the screen so you guys can kind of see the example. Let's turn on all these lights. Those bedside lights don't work, so you can either keep them off or Photoshop them. Those we can, I think these ones work, right? Let there be light. Let there be light. Here we go. It's easier too with the house is vacant, because sometimes if you get a house with people in it and cats and dogs moving stuff, You're like, did I shoot that room? Did I do that? But thankfully this one is vacant, so it's a really quick one for you guys to learn on. If people were here, that would be another video. All right, here we go. So yeah, there's a mirror. Obviously, you're gonna be in it regardless, so you're gonna have to Photoshop yourself out later. I try to not be in the photo, so I'm gonna just run around the corner, let it do its thing. Rooms, you can do 2 shots per room, so kind of pick the angles. 1 shot there. And another little trick is you can open the closet, and you can get in the closet, and you can get more space, right? And you can come out of the closet or you can stay in the closet, depending on you. But yeah, here we go. 2 shots here. Some clients, they were like, hey, where's this light fixture? You know, you cut off the light fixture. So I've been noticing that, like, always learning and getting feedback from clients. So with the 15, it's definitely hard to get the light fixture. So you're gonna have to sacrifice one or the other, or switch to the 12. We'll just do this one just for fun. So you can see there's the light fixture. It's nothing crazy. You can see it in that one a little bit better. Maybe we could scoot back and lower it. But here's that. Sometimes you can open the closet as well if it's nice to show that, you know, any built-ins, but no built-ins here. So that we'll keep that closed. And then another shot will go this shot, this angle. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you don't need any more than that. 2 shots per room. You could get more, but I think you would be overshooting it. So 2 shots per room. One looking in, 1 looking out. And you notice that I got like all 3 walls here. So that's kind of a good indicator. You know, we got this wall and this wall. So you want to be as far back as possible. And we got the light fixture. So those are your checkpoints there. And then the verticals, the lines are, it looks straight. You can always fix that in post, but you want to try to minimize all the post-production. You just want to do everything here if you can catch it. So where I'm aiming at this corner here. I'm gonna give you a better example. Look up there, see that little dent, that triangle, that's my point. So you gotta pick a point. And you can look up other video or other photos online, or, you know, houses for sale in your area, and kind of see. I would look at the high-end stuff because they know what they're doing. And they look good. So, but also look at the mid-level entry stuff, because you don't always shoot high-end homes. You know, I'm shooting, you know, 1 week 38 million. The next week, this one's 900,000. So you can't shoot them all. And what I've learned is, you know, I think the 500 to, you know, high-end 2 million is a good price point for us. It's consistent. The high-end, you know, you're doing about one high-end a week realistically. A lot of people online, you know, you can make $2,500 per shoot, but yet you only do 1 per day, or 1 a week. So keep that in mind. There's always different tiers, especially if you're starting out. I would start out with the lower end, and as you get more confident, I would spend about a year shooting this kind of style and then work your way up. So we got the closet here. I'm just going through everything. I don't know who this is. Jason. Yeah, so see how I got that mirror in it, trying to not cut it off. You could raise it up even higher and get the light fixture, but I think this is good. Again, I think the 12 would be better, or 14 maybe. Yeah, you could do a detail shot. You can get creative if you wanted to and do like a zoom in 35 there to kind of, or 24 to cut off the toilet. But I think, you know, for demonstration, I think the 15 is okay. The door open is nice. Door closed, you get a lot of reflection. If you can see, it's not gonna look that great unless you Photoshop yourself out, but try to minimize the risk of the Photoshopping. So that's it. We're done with the inside, done with the interior. So I'm gonna turn on all the lights. Make sure you turn off all the lights, or else you get a call from somebody saying you left the lights on. So yeah, turn off all the lights. Boom, boom, boom. Skip this to the next part, and I'll see you guys outside. Okay, now we're going to the outside. And the outside, let me double check here. Leave my stuff there. So yeah, outside you can go handheld if it's bright enough. Close this. Boom, boom, boom. All right. And we can go multi again because as you can see there's shadows, so just to be safe I like to do multi, and we're just gonna go, this corner here looks good, but I'm gonna start over here so we don't get sidetracked. You can either go angle or straight on. I like the straights. And then we'll do a shot of the angle just to show the window and also to show the slider. So now we're stuck here. I'm going to show the slider. Cool. Here. So the house is kind of in the middle of the shot here. You could go one shot here looking back. I think we did. Yep, one shot here. House is in the middle. And then we're gonna go behind here, maybe up here. Get a better drone shot. See if you see that, guys. Boom, boom, boom. You could go one there, but sun is pretty sharp, and you can also cover the sun with your hand, because if you didn't, you would see like a nice glare, you know, dust on the lens. So it's not gonna look good if you have the sun in your lens. Maybe for the video it'd become kind of artsy, but for photos you don't want that. So photos are done. Now we're gonna work on the drone photos. Okay, now we're gonna be doing the drone. So this is the DJI Mini 4 Pro, and we're gonna be taking drone photos with it. Go ahead and start it up. You have an internal, and then you also have a little SD card there. Recommend the SD card, 64 gigs. Put that there. Make sure there's no debris around. Cool, and I'm going to screen record this for you guys as well. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and find the DJI app.
Home point updated.
As you can see that? A little bit, yeah, that's a little bit better without the glare. Have a little polarizer on there so you guys can see. So we're going to switch to photo mode here. Here's my settings: RAW 48 megabytes, white balance auto, ISO 100. Let's go ahead and get a little lift off.
Take off.
You want to get one in the front here. One are kind of center of the whole structure in the building. You know, one as well here. Watch out for the trees. Gonna get one here, kind of showing the area and the mountains. Kind of nice. And then one top head. This is like the signature bird's eye view. There we go. A lot of stuff on the post-production where you can blur the neighbors or put a little arrow pointing to the house. You can do that in post. There's that. I'd technically do the drone last, just to be safe of anybody coming outside or neighbors. Sometimes people get mad with the drone. Yeah, that'll be our last shot. I mean, you could do one here, kind of showing the mountains. But yeah, we'll bring it back down. That wraps up the photos. Usually I do this inside the car, sitting down, but for you guys, I'll do it here. And for the drone, you want to hold down the button and it will land for you. So just holding that down. Some people, manually take off with the app, the up button, but I never really like that, just in case there's anything above trees, telephone lines. So I like to do everything manually.
Take off. Home point updated.
Hey guys, so welcome back. We got home from the shoot and now we're gonna take our memory card out. This is the ProGrade 1TB CF Express Type B card, and then we have the Lexor SD card reader. So we're gonna plug that in and load it up to our computer. There's a lot going on here. Let me just organize. Oh, edit from the vlog. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and make a folder on the desktop. This was test. And then we're gonna drag all the folders or all the files from today to the desktop, the test files. And And then also we're going to take the Mavic or the Mini 4 Pro and plug that into a USB-C. It's kind of cool. You could either take the memory card out, or you could simultaneously charge it and connect it to the computer. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so this is where the editing begins, all the fun stuff. So yeah, we're charging that, and we are gonna unload from the SD card. I sometimes quit Final Cut because when you connect devices, it will load and kind of lag. So quit that program, quit Adobe Photoshop 2 or in Lightroom, because it'll pull the SD cards and delay the computer. So I'm gonna go to SD card. Force quit. So we did 9 drone shots. That's about what I do. You can get away with like 3 to 5, but 9 is it's always good to shoot more than expected, or you want to overshoot so you don't have to go back. So the drone ones I'll be doing in Photoshop, and then I'll knock those out real quick, and then the other files I'll be doing in Lightroom. So I kind of go one by one here. It does take some time, but there's a lot of stuff to do in Photoshop. So I just do kind of auto, and then mess with the shadows and the highlights just to give a little, base. And then next I'll be removing, the cars. The generated fill is really handy for that. If you see anything, real estate signs, or you see anything out of the ordinary, you can go ahead and click generate. It's going to take a few seconds. Typically, we don't charge clients unless they have a crazy request where there's a lot of stuff that needs to be photoshopped. Then we can go ahead and add that into the price. So we'll go ahead and file, save as a copy. So make sure to do the high res all the way, and then we do the MLS. In Lightroom is a little easier, but I know that we're going to be removing stuff, and I find Photoshop is easier with that. So change the quality to lower, and that one's done, and you can work our way. I'll just show you a couple just so it's time consuming, but it's basically the same process. This one is a little bit difficult. Yeah, we could have done HDR to get rid of some of those harsh shadows. But let's go with this one. Just for an example, right? Auto, you could raise up the shadows. Add some contrast back and open. The grass looks very bad here, so definitely the client is going to want to fix the grass. So you could basically use the clone tool or this tool, the generated AI. So you just kind of have to say a prayer, or you could take some of the neighbor's grass and clone it. You can hit hold option down to adjust that. It's just hard time of day on this one. Oh, that pool stuff. Pool pump. Pool snake. Get rid of that. Let's see what happens. You can hit remove or generate. Say a prayer. Please be right. And I will save you guys some time if it doesn't work out. Kind of throw you all together, the photos. See, yeah, it removed the grass. So we're just gonna, I'll fix this later, right? So now we can we can eject this one, eject all of our drives. Let's go to Lightroom and work on the other one. Lightroom Classic. That's the one. Okay, so go to Library, Import, Test, Import. And you could stack these files, or you could do it one by one. So I just, do 5 shots, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So every 5, merge to HDR, auto align, none, merge, and then that will generate a HDR file. So it will be coming out here. There it is. So then now you could go into your develop, and you could save presets. These are presets I've bought that are pretty good. You can get that Moody edit for Archipelago. I don't know how to pronounce that. The 1, I think the 1 and the 3 is good for that moody tone. But we'll skip these presets and just go for a natural real estate look. If the color doesn't come out right, you can kind of poke around to see, the white balance. You could also mess with the temp. So the temp, kind of go down the list and see what works. Or you could do auto, but it doesn't really work auto. So yeah, we got that. I got clarity, dehaze. If it was like hazy out, like if it was cloudy, maybe an outside photo would work well with that. I got saturation here. You could bump that up if it looks a little dull. And the denoise, say if it was super grainy. Typically on the twilight shoots, the night shots, will use that feature. Sharpen, would stay around 100, and then you can, use this auto transform. Just like you're not always going to be perfect with the tripod, so it's kind of good to, align, make sure everything is level with the program. So yeah, that looks good. I mean, a little dark, but I can go up and touch these, just kind of doing time savings wise when I get through this, and then I'll show you the end result. So yeah, that's kind of typically how I do it, one by one. This looks pretty good, or I could brighten it up later. I'll show you the results. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys the final results of what we've accomplished here. So DJI. I still have to do some touching up in the grass, but here's some of the outputs that we took. Real estate is hard editing. There's always something, you finish it and then you're like, oh, wait a minute, I gotta remove all that. Here's the interiors. We'll kind of go from the start of the bottom. Here's that photo here. I did some blending here. Could remove that car, but it is what it is. Sometimes there's sunshades, you can kind of block out stuff. So yeah, here's that center of the point where I was showing you guys, like where to aim for the for the camera, that corner of that room. Then we get on the left side, we have the window. The windows are not cut off, so that's very important to not cut anything off. This one could have been angled a little bit more, but I think it's pretty good. It's not cutting off that. Showing the stairs. Sometimes you shoot one angle and maybe not enough. Ended up going with the closed there and then the open. Always good to have options. But yeah, that wraps up the photo editing, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you want to find out more information, tomorrow I'm going to be going over what am I going to be going over? I'm going to be going over the 3D Zillow. So the Zillow is a pretty good tool to help with driving traffic to the listing from Zillow.com. They promote, or they want you to use their features. Like, it'll help with SEO, helping find listings online. It's a pretty cool tool. Also, if you do Zillow Showcase, the agent will ask you if you're Zillow certified. So it's also good to get certified through Zillow as a photographer. And we are. So I'm going to show you what the 3D will look like. That's going to be our next class. So you can scan, where the property is, and kind of do like a walkthrough. Also, like a Matterport. Matterport is obsolete. It's not really compatible with Zillow anymore. They've abolished that platform, unfortunately. But I like Zillow better because the floor plans are free. Before, we'd have to pay for the floor plans on Matterport to get a nice one. So this one does it for free. It's really nice, and you can also, I believe I downloaded it already. Floor plan, here we go. So yeah, that'll give you a floor plan, boom, of the house. So you got the combined of 2 floors, and then also the floor 2, floor 1, gives you dimensions, the layout. So that's gonna help the seller sell the home better. A lot of people out of state or out of area, they wanna see the floor plan before they come out and actually look at it. So this is a pretty cool feature where they can walk through, look around, zoom in, zoom out. So yeah, stay tuned for that one tomorrow.